All right, here we are, still live from Barcelona, where we are another week here with another group of our mastermind members and doing coffee with Markus and Markus live from here. Interesting day in the market. So yesterday we made new all-time highs in the S&P and in the Dow, and then Apple yesterday, bad day after the
Yeah.
WWDC, but today coming back with a vengeance. So we'll talk about this. Lilly also up. So there's a lot going on. So with that said, welcome to Coffee with Markus and Mark, live from Barcelona. And in this show, we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. And let's see what is happening. So, hopping over, what do you think about this? Yesterday, just barely making new all-time highs in the S&P.
Yeah, interesting to see that, and a little bit of movement there, but the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq both making new records. Dow not doing much at all. S&P making new records in spite of Apple's underperformance yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah, because Apple announced the whole new AI initiative, and yesterday not doing well. Today, after everybody had a chance to think about it, look
Look
at
at
that.
that.
Apple up 5.5%, 5.4%. And
Huge.
just like this, look at this, overtaking Nvidia again. Nvidia slightly down today, and now Apple is number two in the largest companies by market capitalization here in the US.
Yeah, so Nvidia took that number 2 spot briefly with today's gain. Apple reclaiming number 2 and targeting Microsoft, really, if you look at a huge move that Apple had today.
It is a close race between the top three here.
Sure.
And now I drew circles over it so that you can't see a darn thing anymore.
But
Yeah,
this Worldwide Developers Conference, there were some interesting news coming out of it.
tell me about it.
Tell you about it. Well, it was all about AI. And you know what, Marcus? I wonder if investors kind of felt the same way I did early on because I'll admit my take has changed a little bit. Initially, when I heard that Apple was, embracing AI but then partnering with OpenAI, it seemed a little bit odd that they would do that. And even
It seems odd because the idea was okay, so Apple has its own large language model that they will roll out with the next iOS 18. And it will only run on the iPhone 15 and very powerful devices that have the M1 chip, so iPad or computer. So, what does it mean? First of all, it means that if you want to have Apple's AI or the, what was it, Apple Intelligence, you need to upgrade your devices. What does it mean for Apple? That's good news, right? If you have to upgrade the devices. So, absolutely. And then they also announced they make Siri smarter.
Yeah, we know that Siri's been a waste of space. Just like underwhelming for the longest time. And then is OpenAI, are they throwing in the towel? But not really the case. You see here Elon Musk hating this idea and even saying that he would ban Apple products at his businesses if Apple integrates a chat GPT and OpenAI into their OS.
Yeah, and this was basically their announcement that when you ask Siri something, that Siri basically says, "Well, I'm too dumb to answer the question. Shall we ask ChatGPT?"
Yeah.
And it would be another step. And when we talked about this morning with our mastermind members, it seems like a hot patch. And why wouldn't you wait until fall when you're rolling out Apple Intelligence and do it right?
Exactly, but at first I wasn't sure exactly where the OpenAI played a role and if they were throwing in the towel, but it really seems that they're just saying, "Hey, we know that we're behind. This is a quick fix, and we have bigger plans that should benefit Apple." And it seems like investors embracing that idea right now.
Yeah. Other than this, not a whole lot going on today because if we look at the S&P 500, we see that we opened lower, then we're moving even lower, coming back and right now trading slightly above the open, but below is yesterday's close and pretty much similar all across the board wherever we look. And this has to do with this week's economic calendar.
Yes, this week, tomorrow is going to be a big day for data. We have core CPI data in the morning, but then also it's Fed week.
It is Fed week. So let's talk about core CPI and CPI first of all. So core CPI expected to come in at 0.3. So year over year, 3.4%. So this means inflation is not coming down. And right now it's not even expected that it has eased in May, that it remains sticky well above the 2%, which is the Fed's declared target.
Yeah, 3.4% would is the forecast, which is the same as last month. Core CPI at point 0.3, which was the same as last month's CPI. The expectation is at point 0.1, but the core CPI number, excluding more volatile food and energy, is what's closely watched.
Yeah. And then we have, of course, the Fed, first of all, announcing they're having their meeting right now, and tomorrow the 2-day meeting will conclude. And this is when they will announce that they will keep rates the same at 5.5%. But then we have these two important things. First of all, we have the FOMC statement as well as the economic projections.
Yes, so the statement is always going to be interpreted where traders are looking for key changes from the previous statement. But this dot plot is a big one. It comes out quarterly, and that's sharing what the Fed members individually expect.
Right. And this is where they say, okay, how many rate cuts this year? And previously, in the previous dot plot meeting, they said, oh, yeah, we're expecting 3 rate cuts this year. Well, that would mean, because traders right now say nothing's going to happen tomorrow and probably not in July. So if they really still stick to the 3 rate cuts, it would mean September, November, and December. And nobody believes that.
Exactly. So three cuts seems to be off the table. Two seems to be the higher probability and priced into the market, with the first coming in September, maybe November. Right now, it looks like December is a wild card or a toss up, about 50-50.
Yeah, and we have seen that also for the September meeting. I mean, we were at a solid 70% probability that in the September meeting there will be a rate cut. Right now, closer to 50-50 again. So it seems that traders are now even betting that maybe it could happen as late as November.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. So first of all, we want to know how many rate cuts are they considering? And then, of course, we have Powell grabbing the mic um, for us at 8:30 while we have tapas and cerveza.
Yes, yes. So 30 minutes after that Fed decision and statement, we'll get some Q&A and from Fed Chair Powell. And yeah,
So this will be, I mean, usually it's anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. And I mean, traders will pay very close attention, first of all, what he says and what he doesn't say, as well as how exactly is he answering the questions, because he will face some tough questions. Like, for example, okay, is the Fed concerned that we are just staying around there and nothing is moving? Also, last week we had a strong jobs report, basically showing that the economy is still strong. And I'm pretty sure that he will get questions like, okay, are you planning to maybe hike interest rates and move it a little bit higher, since we are not making any progress here? So maybe it's not enough.
I'm sure it will be a question, but it's not a reality that the Fed's likely to hike, but the longer, higher for longer is still a potential.
Well, so higher probably out, but now the longer, how much longer will we have the interest rate? So this is where today, if we look at the heat map, we see that today the financial sector overall dragging down the market. So we have JP Morgan down 2.5%, Wells Fargo down 2.2%, Bank of America down, American Express down, PayPal down. I mean, then we have Apple sticking out here with I mean, just green in a sea of red.
Yeah, definitely a lot of red though, not much green.
Yeah. And again, the financial services being hit the hardest because, I mean, higher interest rates, you would think it's good for financial companies, but I mean, yes, they're making more money on the loans, but they're not issuing as many loans.
Exactly. So a little bit of a selling taking place before the Fed.
Yeah. So lots of opportunities today on the wheel analyzer, especially in the financial markets. I mean, we see that BlackRock looking good here at some shorter term support. We see Blackstone, even COF. What else did we have? We had Wells Fargo, I believe. No, Western Alliance Bancorp,
PNC.
PNC, a good old friend, PNC. And you
Yeah.
see, on other days, we were inclined to take it. But right now, with two major events ahead tomorrow, we decided to hold off and just stick to our existing positions.
Exactly, exactly. We'll see what the reaction is, and you always mention, Marcus, that the reaction typically comes in 3 reactions, so there might be an opportunity.
Yeah. So looking at our portfolio right now, we are still in CSIQ. CSIQ today slightly down. Yesterday had an update. Overall, I mean, we had this sharp move up. Now it seems that we are more moving into a trend channel kind of here, and we're towards the lower end of the trend channel. So CSIQ this way. Let me actually draw 3 arrows just to make sure that there's no confusion. So going back up to 21 would be nice. If we are moving lower again, we will attempt another partial rescue mission to bring down our cost basis. But at this point, we just wanted to move it higher. Higher. All right. So UPS, and then we'll talk about HAL and Schlumberger.
Yep.
SLB. Okay. So UPS today just slightly down, 0.1%, and seems to have found some support here.
Look at all those closes that are
It's crazy.
Yeah,
If we-
4,
if we-
5.
Yeah, if we switch to a line chart, it's basically flat over the far. Yeah, I mean, it's all of these closes exactly the same, right there at around 137.
Yep, 137.50 maybe.
Yeah, pretty much flatlining. Okay, so about HAL. So last week I put on a CME position and CMA. Yeah, not CME, CMA. And that expired worthless, so nothing for me to do there. And then I also had the SLB trade that expired worthless for me.
Yeah. Schlumberger, there was the big debate, is Schlumberger better than Halliburton or not? And also, how do you pronounce it? And I think that we proved that it's not Schlumberger, but Schlumberger, and Halliburton's a better trade.
Halliburton is the better trade. I have to admit it because you got assigned, and this is what I was looking for. I was looking for getting assigned. You got assigned at 34.50.
Yep.
And you were able to sell calls against your existing position yesterday.
I was getting 52% annualized on the call, so I was able to do that, and we'll see where we end up on Friday. But I was assigned at 34.50.
Yeah, and I decided to join you, so I sold 34.50 puts expiring this Friday. So I might get assigned, and then we can sell calls together. Or if we close above 34.50, you will get called away. My puts expire, and then we are also in the same position. So that's kind of the idea here to sync up our positions again, because yes, it was the better trade.
Well, it worked.
Okay. So on this, we're waiting for tomorrow because tomorrow is a big day and could rattle the markets, because we see also that markets overall, if you go to a daily chart here, I mean, over the last few days, we see that markets have kind of stalled up here, making new all-time highs, pulling back a little bit, making new all-time highs. I wouldn't be too surprised if we pull back again towards the 5,200 level.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Could be. I mean, this would be 150 points, so this would be a 2% move, and a 2% move with the Fed meeting and the CPI is not out of the question.
Exactly. I mean, there isn't much volatility right now, but you're right, a 2% pullback wouldn't be much.
Yeah, although even today we're kind of unchanged. Volatility peaking up a little bit because traders are worrying about what will happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. WTF positions. We still have our WTF position in DXCM going on. And today, interesting, at first we were moving much higher. Right now, still up 0.07%. We were much higher earlier, so we shall see. So far, we are still in this position, well above our stop loss. And we see here our stop loss is at 104. We entered at 117, was it 11 or 16 or something like this?
I actually thought it was around 115. This was an open below entry, but I could be.
I think 117 sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing else, no exits, no new positions here. So this is why we only have this position at this moment. And again, this could change tomorrow.
It could.
Okay. Now we'll take another look at the markets here in a moment, but it is time for, what do you have for us? A trader joke or a dad joke?
Oh my gosh. You know what?
What?
I forgot my joke.
You forgot your
I
joke?
forgot my joke. I'll
Are you
do a
serious?
double dose. Yeah.
You do a
I'll
double
it,
dose
yeah.
tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll do a
Okay.
double dose tomorrow.
Nice. Okay, here comes one. So I was concerned because I thought that today you would win, but tell you mine. Okay. You see, recently a guy on a tractor was driving by yelling, "The end of the world is near." I think it was Farmer Geddon.
Oh my gosh. I'm so disappointed in myself for not having a joke today because hands down it would have been better.
No, come on.
That was pretty good. Farmer get on. All right.
All right. Okay. Let's see what's happening where we are right now with the S&P 500 pulling back a little bit. And again, we just see some volatility. Honestly, I do believe that a lot of this move might have been driven by Apple.
Yeah, could be. I mean, it makes sense, and just a huge move in Apple today. Right now, just a little bit, the S&P just a little bit above the open, but we see that big, nice gain in Apple, about 5%.
Yeah. So what do you expect for today? Will we be able to break above yesterday's close again, or will we finish negative?
Nah, I don't think we're gonna get back up to yesterday's close. I think we're gonna just kind of chop around from here, but finish slightly lower.
Yeah, I believe that we could even not quite test the lows, but move somewhere here around 5,340. So maybe even pulling back a little bit, and then everybody's waiting what will happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
All
that's a good call.
Cool. With that said, hey, if you enjoyed today's show, give us a like. If you liked my joke, just say it was better than Mark's. It was
I'll give
better
it
than
a
yours
thumbs
today.
up.
Okay, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. And if you feel that this was good content worth sharing, then please, there's a share button right underneath. Share this video with others who might find this helpful. And we will see you again tomorrow, tuning in and finding out what is happening after the CPI report has been released. Until then, have a great rest of your day.
Happy trading, everybody.